Tammy Jones. I'm the Family Consumer Science Educator at OSU Extension in Pike County. Today I wanted to demonstrate how to make a new recipe that I recently enjoyed trying and found out that it was a healthier option for a chocolatey, peanut buttery dessert. These are called garbanzo bean chocolate peanut butter cake bites. So we're going to walk you through the steps in order to make this very simple recipe and very quick recipe. Before you get started, I want to go over the ingredients we have. We have 1 can of chickpeas, which have been drained and rinsed out of the can. You can also use the dry and prepare them to package directions, but be prepared to allow time for that. If you're using them out of the can, they just need rinsed and drained in order to do that. It does contain 4 eggs. These will all go into my blender, and then I will add in baking powder to help them rise. And then the chocolate and the peanut butter are going to come from a 3/4 cup chocolate chips and 3/4 cup of, I've used a peanut butter powder mixed with water to help cut down on that. And then it does have a 3/4 cup of sugar or sugar substitute that you may choose to use. Some alternatives you might try is semi-chocolate, dark chocolate, even trying the no sugar added chocolate chips. So whatever you have on hand or that you choose to use. So I'm going to start by putting the chocolate chips into a microwave safe dish so that they can begin to melt in the microwave as I'm putting together the other ingredients. So you're going to start that gradually. You don't want to overcook them or burn them, so I put them in there for about 30 seconds at a time, stir them and keep that going. While that's happening in my blender, I'm going to add the can of garbanzo beans, or chickpeas as you may call them. And I hear my microwave's ready, so I'm going to grab that, check it, and I'll be right back. So as the chocolate chips begin to melt, you want to stir them and keep them moving so that they do not scorch to the bottom. So now I will add my 4 eggs into my blender with my chickpeas. Again, they've been rinsed and drained from the can. And then add directly your 4 eggs. You could substitute with the egg substitute if you choose to do that as well, but it does call for 4 eggs or the equivalent. And once those items are mixed in, you're going to secure the lid to your blender and let those begin to churn. To give it a good blend while I stop and check my chocolate chips. So as you will see, the chocolate chips are beginning to melt, but they're still not quite there. But again, I want to do them in 20 or 30-second increments so that I'm not burning them. Give my garbanzo beans and my eggs another mix here. And then now I'm going to add in my baking powder and sugar or sugar substitute that you choose to use. And blend some more. Sometimes you may find it doesn't blend on its own, so using your spatula or rubber spatula, we just give it a quick mix to kind of get it mixed up. And always like to scrape down the sides and to the bottom just in case there's anything sticking that I don't know that is because I can't see to the bottom. And then I'll give it another quick blend. Seems to have done the trick. Check my chocolate chips. The bowl may be hot as you get it out, so please be careful of that. It looks like they're just about right. Again, these are called garbanzo bean chocolate peanut butter cake bites. I'm going to blend in my melted chocolate chips. And then my peanut butter powder that I've mixed with water ahead of time. This is a healthier option to using traditional peanut butter. A lot of people like it. It has a really great flavor. It has a consistent texture and will allow for the chocolate peanut butter flavoring to my cake bites. Again, I give that a quick stir with my rubber spatula before I put it back in the mix. Get all that off your spatula because the chocolate tends to want to stick to it as it melted. And again, secure your lid to ensure that you don't have a bigger mess than you want. One more mix here. I see the chocolate starting to surface because it was just in the bottom. The batter, it's making a very creamy batter. That will serve as my cake batter. But again, there's no flour in this. It's simply those ingredients that I mentioned, which were the chocolate chips, the peanut butter powder, the eggs, the garbanzo beans, sugar substitute, and the baking powder. Like we're ready to pour. So I'm calling them cake bites. So I'm using my mini muffin pan. You could put this in a regular sized muffin pan. You could also put it in a cake pan. I like to use this because they're already pre-portioned and bite sized. They make for a light dessert or smaller portion dessert that makes it easy to control how much you are eating of the dessert rather than cutting a large piece, but you could use it in any way. You want to scrape down the sides of your blender to get all that batter in there. And then simply pour it into your, or scoop, whatever you find necessary, to fill almost full, about 3/4 the way full, because it does have the baking powder in there, so that will allow for it to rise. So once you do that, you're going to put them in the oven, which I have preheated at 350 degrees. I'm going to bake for about 15 to 18 minutes. I'm going to be watching that to check for when they're done. And when I feel that they are by checking them, then I will take them out and cool and then enjoy. Again, these are garbanzo bean chocolate and peanut butter cake bites. So I made sure to add cooking spray to my mini muffin pan to hopefully prevent sticking. And again, filling them about 3/4 of the way full. This mini muffin tin has 24 muffins in it, so you should be able to get at least 24. If you're doing larger muffins, obviously you'll get fewer, but they would be just a larger portion size, which you may want just 12 regular size muffins instead of the mini.
I also want to share another option for the garbanzo bean chocolate cake bites by removing the peanut butter. So this recipe that you see now just uses the semi-sweet chocolate chips, but in a larger amount. And this one uses white sugar. You could also use artificial sweetener with that if you chose, but if you're wanting to remove the peanut butter flavoring and just have the chocolate, you could give this recipe a try. Enjoy.
One last thing I always do before I pop them in the oven, because sometimes it all gets a little bit messy, is just taking a paper towel or damp cloth, going in between there any spills that you had, just to make it. Sometimes those burn and sometimes they smoke in the oven, and this way you can eliminate that. And it makes for easier cleanup when you're done. All right, so off to the oven with these. So my garbanzo bean chocolate peanut butter cake bites are all done, just out of the oven and allow them to cool. And then typically I will take a plastic knife around the edge of them, and then they will, once they've cooled, they will pop out very nicely. And you have your cake bites ready to serve. Check out the recipe. And if you have questions or need more information, you can call our office at 740-289-4837, or you can reach me at jones, JONES.5640 @osu.edu.